Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. God bless you, depending on your time zone. My name is Pastor Yemi Omoboyega, your friend. Welcome again to my channel, and it's time for us to talk on another topic, which says, what you eventually become in life may not be what you desire. What you eventually become in life may not be what you desire. There is a popular Bible passage that says, subsume your plans under God's plans and you will succeed. Please just Google that sentence. You will know the very passage in the Bible, because it's not all the time that, it is there in the Bible. If you subsume your ways into God's ways, you are sure to succeed in life. When I was young, my very early days, the first profession I admired most was to become a teacher. As time went by and I was growing, then another vision came to me. I desired to become a lawyer, a legal practitioner. That is in addition to teaching. This one came from the sense of justice that I saw in my mother, uneducated mother. She values justice. I saw how she was managing her siblings, telling the truth, telling them what to do, and guiding them on what is right and what is not right. And at the same time, eventually when I was moving out, I saw the lawyers in their professional regalia. I loved it, so I desired to be a lawyer. I also myself love justice. I like to defend the truth. I don't like people being cheated. And I think my first person that I would say angered me when I was young was one of my uncles called Uncle John. Uncle John will beg me, pamper me, and eat my food. Everything, almost everything. When it is his own turn, he will spit on the soup to irritate me, so that I will not even bother talking about it. What an injustice. And as a result, I will leave his food. I will not be able to eat out of it. What an injustice. Okay. And as I went by in life, nature also brought me in contact with writing. As I was reading books, I wanted to write books. And eventually I wrote books. Forget about that. I said I wanted to be a teacher. What am I doing now? I'm teaching you something. Okay, daughter, just a moment. what am I teaching now? What am I doing now? I am teaching you something because I like to share experiences. And I started sharing experiences early in my life. Initially by word of mouth. Then later by letter writing. My late brother would know. I wrote so many letters that I would not buy postage stamps. And thank God the post offices of those days, they understood when it is a letter from children. And I think from the handwriting, they will know that this one requires free post. And the letters, I will go and put it there. I don't have money for postage stamp. I just write epistles and send it to my brother. I will be surprised when I got the result, the reply. And my brother was dedicated in replying my letters. So I decided to be a writer. Then as I was moving on in my spiritual life, I desired again to be a preacher and teacher of the Word of God. Okay. And, so you can see is what you will become will be evolving and revolving. Evolving in the sense that it's not static. So one should be flexible in life as to know, that look, even though I desire this, God wants me to do this, God wants me to do this, God wants me, because the openings will be there, opportunities will be there, chances will be there. It's a matter of just keying into them. Then, in the course of my journeys in life, now I've told the story before. My first career in life was a factory operative, a laborer in the defunct Speckle Textile Mills, Ikeja Industrial Estate, Ikeja, Lagos. That was between 1973 and 1976. Then my second career was secretarial studies. Was that is in reality. The first ones I told you were still desires. But this one, the way nature or God made things work out for me is that I will first of all become a factory worker in a textile company. Then the next one was for me to become a typist. And because my brother had already enrolled me in a typing lesson and I was doing well there, so I had to join the secretarial profession by accident now, because I never knew of it. The day I first knew of it was the day that my brother took me to the learning center, and I saw a typewriter. And he enrolled me, and good to go, and I went with him. So I never knew what was called secretarial profession. But when I knew it, I desired to get to the peak of it. Even when a little issue arose between my brother and I stopped paying my lesson fees. I was working as a factory operative laborer. That's the factory operative is beautiful language. I was being diplomatic as a laborer, carrying beams in the textile industry, and at the same time drawing the yarns with which your clothes are well made. So, when eventually I would leave Speckle Textile Industries, I joined a construction company by name Lovell Stewart Nigeria Limited. Then as a clerk typist. That was in 1976, if I'm correct now. You can see, oh, I wanted to become a lawyer. I wanted to become a teacher. I wanted to become a preacher. See where I started from. Because that is how God had designed it to be. And then from that, secretarial studies, from my exposure to organizations, I discovered another profession, human resource management, we call it personnel management in those days. And I saw that I fitted into it, and I can, the experiences I gained in the secretarial studies will help me to properly adapt to that. And when I also noticed that secretarial studies is not a course, it's not a profession that somebody who is visionary, who aims high, should take to and retire from. So I decided to think of what next can I do after secretarial studies. Two things came to my mind. I love journalism, and I bought books on journalism. Made simple books, how to write books, and how I bought a lot, and I was by the side doing all those ones. So, as a result of that also, I developed interest in personnel management. So I decided that secretarial studies I would do for 10 years. And within that 10 years, I would have reached the peak of it. That is the personal secretary. And I accomplished that within, in fact, it was 2 weeks to 10 years. 18th of September that year, that will make it 10 years. 2 weeks to that I was converted to an administrative position. And the moment I was converted to administrative position in my organization, then I had already, you see, I wanted to become a personnel manager. I had already started, I had enrolled in an institution where that professional training was being offered. And I had started writing their exams even before I left the secretarial studies. So by the time I was converted to administrative studies, man, and of course, I was after my conversion to the admin thing, I was posted to a recruitment office that is under the personal management, manpower development, something like that. What do we call it now? Manpower planning and something like that. That was the title in the organization. So after that one, as I went into that recruitment, so I saw it as a great opportunity. And then I had access to my ogas who were being, who were offering, the company was sponsoring them in personnel management courses overseas, and they had wonderful materials, books, and I had one wonderful gentleman to whom I was so close, Mr. A.A. Adeyemo, and this man was the one that mentored me. Indeed, he finally supervised my thesis, part 3 thesis, during the course of my studies with the Personnel Management Institute, Chartered Institute of Personnel Management of Nigeria. He gave me ample materials, and he made room for me to ask questions. Being in the field, and okay, I was in recruitment, and in spite of that, the specialized branch that I loved most in personnel management is industrial relations. Indeed, I wrote my thesis on industrial relations. So you can now see how see the things I wanted to become, the careers I wanted, see what was evolving and again revolving. I had to go and I had to obey this course of can I call it evolvement. As things were evolving, I had to toe that path because that is the path that God wanted me to follow. It was unclear to me. What I desired to be were those ones I told you: a teacher, a lawyer, a preacher, and so on and so forth. So, as we go on, as I went on in life, I took my studies seriously. I completed that Chartered Institute of Personnel Management course. And imagine me, I think I've always said it, the best education I had was primary 6 certificates, school certificate. The combination of the efforts of my mother, my uncle, everybody, my brother, my eldest sister, late Florence Ibitoye, my eldest brother, who eventually brought me to Lagos, late Mr. Michael Ajiboye Lubusi, and my uncle, now late Mr. Israel Olayinka from my maternal side. These were the 3 pillars of the people that saw me through to obtaining my primary 6 school certificate. And after that, I had to, I had been in secretarial studies. It was much later that I had to go for private studies again through correspondence. I was a student of the Exam Success Correspondence College, Yaba, in those days. I took my studies seriously, preparing for GC side by side my secretarial studies training, because as things were evolving, I discovered that I needed those qualifications to advance in life. And I still desired to attend a university. Even in the pursuit of all these things that I'm doing, practically, career-wise, do you know that my desire for law, for teaching, for preaching, never wavered? But how to get there is a problem. I can't leave my work and say I'm going to school. Who will sponsor me? So I can't leave my work and say I'm going for full-time theology, to become a pastor. How will I survive? So I had to obey the course that the Lord has set before me. And I was like that. So, as I was working in the recruitment of an organization, as I said, recruitment department of an organization, personnel management, I made sure I completed the course that can make me to convert or fit in easily into that work. And that even helped me in the discharge of my duties, because everything that I was to do, I had already learned from the course of personnel management studies that I did. So you must always improve yourself. Any line you find yourself, maximize it. That's where God wants you to profit from. You may have your desire. Your desire is still there. Don't forget them. But the one that is right before you now, maximize that opportunity. Everything that comes your way is an opportunity for you to boost your life or to have an in-depth experience in other areas other than what you desire to be. I'm sorry, this recording may not be very clear. If we are going to go by quality of video and everything, nothing will be done. So let's manage. So long as you can still manage to see me, I think you are good to go. So, I continued that way. Now, it was during the course of my being in that organization that I enrolled. Now, I went back to my vision. And I want to summarize something for you as we go on. I went back to my vision because I still desire to be a lawyer. And I started looking for admission into university. But the caveat was this: I could not do it on full-time basis. And unfortunately, there was no part-time courses in LLB law. Whatever you desire, and if God says you will attain it, you will attain it. Just believe in your heart that opportunity will come. The fact that you desire it will make you to recognize that opportunity when it comes. So the opportunities came in bits. First, I was just reading the newspaper one day. Okay, I didn't tell you that I even went into a college, part-time college in secretarial studies, the United Christian Secretarial College, Bombay Christian, Apapa, 1980-81 session. 1 year program, professional course. I came out of that school with 140 words per minute in the RSA shorthand and 50 words per minute in the Pittman typewriting exams. And I was the president. I was the one that formed and led within that 1 year as an activist that I am. Within that 1 year, I formed a students' union, and I led that union, and we did marvelously well. So let's leave that. This activism thing has started from my early days. And there's no place in my life that I worked that I did not make impact as an activist. I either belonged to the union, and when I became a senior staff, throughout my career time, I was a member of the Senior Staff Association, active member, not just ordinary member, that I will hold positions like the secretary of the association in an international organization. So I have quality and in-depth experience when you talk of activism, and it started from my family. Up to today, I know some of members of my family, they are tired of me because I bother them a lot because my ways of thinking is different. I look at things broadly. I look beyond me, my immediate family, and whatever. I want to, if I see something, you see, I manage to stop involving people at a stage. Because when I see something and I felt that, okay, I cannot do it alone. Oh, why don't I team together with selected members of my family who I consider are capable, that we can join hands together to do it, and so that goal is what is important to me. It's not who did it. I will sell the idea to such people, but at a stage I discovered that it was like I was burdening them. I saw from the reaction. And indeed, somebody had to tell me, I like to go my way. I don't by these visions, and I love it. And that sometimes, we are not equally gifted. Some people thought that, okay, this kind of things will expose me more to the larger family and maybe a burden that, I may not be able to cope with. So I like to live a private life. So I understood. And from then onwards, I limited myself to what I can do personally. I thought that I always sing a song, corporate family image. But I found out that it's always difficult to convince people or accept yourself that you have that vision to join you. So as a result, I understood. I got the message. I have to, whatever I want to do, I go it all alone. That's my principle now. But I don't stop dreaming because my dreams are big. I was looking at a corporate family image, corporate family identity, corporate family integration, corporate family unity, corporate family social relationship, consistent and persistent. And that corporate family relationship has to be as wide as possible. As wide as, I can trace my family, father side, mother side. And so some of my people did not see that as something that, they want to go into or is visible or they are interested in. So instead of feeling bad or instead of thinking that finding faults, I rather will do the best I can. And that's me, because I don't give up on anything that I believe in. Thank God that I don't believe in evil things. So I would have been hardened too in doing them. So as I moved on in life, opportunity came one beautiful day. I was reading the newspapers. Excuse me. I was reading the newspapers and I saw an advert from the Lagos State University for the evening law diploma program. And quickly I jumped at it. I told you, if you desire it, when the opportunity comes, you will quickly recognize it and you grab it. I grabbed it. The rest is history. For the next 3 years, I was in the university on part-time basis doing the diploma in law. And I finished it. There was no evening law LLB program. About 3 years after, because God has ordained it for me. God, you see, there are some permissible, will of God. I will call it permissible will of God. I know why I said so. Because the law that I desire to learn, to study, of course, I came to realize later that by the time I was through, my physical strength could no longer carry my desire in terms of full-time practicing legal profession as I would have if I had read the law when I was young. You understand what I mean? If I had gone to secondary school and went straight to read law, I think the first thing I would do is to attach myself to a chamber and then start my own practice when the whole energy was there. I'll come to that. And indeed, that's what the gist of this discussion is there's something you desire to do, go ahead and pursue it. It may just be a permissible will of God. It may not be where God really wants to directly bless you with, maybe where you will make your money for, where you will that which will be your career practice. But follow your heart's desire anyway. So after that, the LLB thing came. I got enrolled by the special grace of God, and for the next 6 years, 6 to 7 years, including law school, I was in school. And by the special grace of God, I graduated. So I've got one of my major desires in life. I've achieved it. A dream, my childhood dream of becoming a lawyer. The day I presented myself as a lawyer in my office, people got surprised. They never knew how I did my law school. I did my law school in a miraculous way, because that was where I should have had problems. My employer would not, if you want to go for that, you will have to retire, take study leave. Could I afford it with my family commitments? Fortunately, my office was close to the law school. Where I was working was close to the law school, and then God made it possible for me to have a residence, that is hostel, in the law school. So I practically migrated to the law school, and I went to the law school without my assignment, my official assignment, being negatively impacted. Again, I enjoyed the support of my youth corpers. I think Bimpe Adewale, now Mrs. Aruna, was one of those who supported me tremendously during my law school days. She was the one that bridged the gap. My daily assignment was in Victoria Island. So I go to my assignments in the morning and go to law school, then return to the office in the evening. I will first of all show up in the office, then go to where I work in the Victoria Island, and then go to law school, then return to the place I worked, and then from there return to the main office. So I resume in the morning with them, I close in the evening with them, and yet in between, I was able to do that for 1 year, and I accomplished my goal, and I accomplished my company's goal. Indeed, I received bountiful team performance bonus because my job never suffered. If you desire a thing, you will get it. If you have a will, a way will always come. You will find a way around it, and you will enjoy the best of two worlds. I enjoy the best of my working life. I enjoy the best of my schooling life, in spite of the busyness. Those were the period that I maximized the use of technology. And I'm working, and I couldn't finish the work. I downloaded it on my Scion PDA, which I bought secondhand. I bought 2 of them, and I'll continue at home. In the morning, I'm submitting my work, completed, neatly, accomplished work. So this is the way that I did. And then, let me tell you, I was transferred from the personnel department to a public relations department. That's another opportunity. So I'm highly experienced in the area of public relations. Indeed, I was a liaison officer to the organization, between the government and the organization. I was the one representing my organization. I told you it's an international organization. And I did that. So, what is the summary of all these stories? Subsume your plans under God's plan, and you will succeed. I wanted to be a preacher, a teacher, a lawyer, and a number of things. But my background did not give me the opportunity to go for the law directly, to go to university to go and read law at my early age. Yet I had my eyes on it. And God made a way for me to read it. Will you believe we hadn't, I think we were in year 3 or 4 when that program was terminated. But we that were already there were allowed to complete our course of studies. To God be the glory. Abẹ́rẹ́ ti lọ kọ́nà okùn tó dí. You know, when you are sewing with the needle, you use the needle to punch the material and it goes. Then the rope will now seal up that place. Abẹ́rẹ́ ti lọ, that is, the needle has gone before the rope closed the gap. Because God knew the desires of my heart, He allowed me to accomplish it. That is why I pray for you, my listener. If you desire to become anything, I pray for you that if only you would do the type of things I did, endurance, persistence, and being transparent with your organization wherever you are, God will make it happen in your life. So now, all that said and done, the best part of my life, I retired when I was 51 years voluntarily, because I never wanted to work till 60 years. That had been my principle. I wanted to be out when I would still be useful to myself. So the best part of my life, the career part of my life, has followed the part I explained to you. That's the one that was yielding money for me. But the one that I really desire didn't work the way I wanted it to be. Because if I had been, I always compare myself with Dr. Apoku. I say we are twin brothers. The difference between us was that he was able to study his desired course. He left primary school, went to secondary school. From secondary school, he went to the university to read medicine. And there he practiced for a number of years. By the time I was 40, before he retired himself. That's wonderful. So if I had gone to secondary school straight and went to read the law, I would have been able to practice the law on full-time basis and open a chamber. All the same, I was able to open a chamber because there's no, let me say, the law is not something you cannot practice till the end. But do I have the energy, the youthful energy, to continue to read all those books that will be before me? Will I have the strength? I found that the strength had started failing me even before I retired. All the same, I did the best I can. I'm still a lawyer, and to God be the glory, I do some little draftings here and there. But I could not go through the rigors of the daily requirements of a regular practicing lawyer. Again, the knowledge I gained from the law school avails me so much in everything that I do today. At the legal, I knew the legal implications of whatever I'm doing. Another benefit. If I'm counseling people, I'm I'm using my legal experience. So, in summary, one thing is this: you may desire one thing. Open your eyes, have a discerning spirit to discover where God wants you to be. Indeed, I tried to go into the legal department when I graduated, but of course, in an organization, that one is a difficult one when there are people there who are already, and so on and so forth. But even, was I not even getting tired myself? The best option left for me is to open my own chambers. I could practice a little, but I thank God I accomplished my goal. The teaching that I said I wanted to do, what am I doing now? I have been teaching. On this platform, I had more than 900 materials. Then I had been staging seminars. That reminds me, 2025, by the special grace of God, I'm going to be staging seminars, or can I say, I'm going to develop a mentorship group. This one is not a free service like I'm doing now. I'll let you know when I open it. I'm putting up the group, and I'm test running it with a few people. But by the time I get to that level, I'll let you know. You are going to pay for it. Let me tell you, I pay 10,000 to Dr. Apoki every month for mentorship group. I'm profiting from it. You see, what he is teaching us in his mentorship group is exclusive to us. What I mean is that what we will do in this mentorship group that I'm going to create this year, and very soon that we will start, and you are paying for, if you will, is not going to be materials that I am going to post out there here on this platform. It's going to be on that platform, and for those who paid for them, and God willing, they are going to be regular, profitable, and beneficial. And unlike here, when you didn't have the opportunity to relate with me directly as you would have wished, on that platform, you will have direct contact with me. And if you have peculiar situations that you want us to address, either on marital issues, even on career issues, maybe anything for that matter, religious issues, you are good to go. And we'll be able to trash them out. By the special grace of God, I'm a marriage counselor. And I also counsel families, not just on marriage. I can mentor your children. Maybe you have children that needed to develop a vision for the future. Maybe they are difficult now. Maybe if you release them to us for that period, we can take. When I say release them I'm not saying bring them to my house to live with me. No. What I'm saying is that we can do it online. Life is simple now and cheap. If you have marital issue and you want to, like I said, it's not free. You will pay. But you will have the best of what you need as the Lord lives. If it is marital issue, will you say I don't have experience in it? I'm over 40 years in marriage. Is it children rearing, parenting that you want to talk about that you say I don't have any experience in it? I have over 39 years experience in it. Or is it your career issue on how to relate and get yourself properly organized so that you get favors that the Lord has purposed there for you that I cannot cancel you on? I worked for how many years? 1973. From as I told you, from laborer's work to the topmost position in an international organization. So will you say I cannot guide you career-wise? So I will be leaving the information when I am ready, and it will be very soon. In the meantime, my name is Pastor Yemi Omogoyega. My telephone number is 080-344-65225. I prefer you text me, because if it is WhatsApp, you can WhatsApp me too on the same number. But if you text me, I will see it more quickly than on WhatsApp. So if you are interested, please private chat me either by text or by WhatsApp on that number, and be part and parcel of the early enrollees. You could get some discounts. We've not decided that what it will be. We've not even fixed the amount, but you could, if you are one of the early enrollees, I can guarantee that the first 10 enrollees could pay far less than the people. And it's a monthly affair. And this time around, I think the laborer deserves his wage. I believe you will cooperate. You subscribe to that group, and then I too will earn something with which I can continue to promote even the ones that I'm doing free on this platform, so that mutually we benefit. I buy a lot of data. My data usage will increase. I'm using up to 100 gigabytes in a month now. It might increase to something like 150, it might increase to something like 200 gigabytes, because I'm all out to do a serious work that will benefit you tremendously. Thank you very much. Like I said, let me round up by saying that identify what you want to be and be those things. You can be those things. God may permit you to have them. They may not necessarily be where your daily bread or your investment will come. I am preaching today. I'm not earning money, but I became a pastor. I went to the school. I went to theology school, RCCG Bible College, RCC DSOD, RCC Workers in Training. I attend, so I'm experienced. So can I not guide you in fact, Bible says, I have understanding than my teachers. I think that's applicable to me today. You can see, if I can identify where even my GO is not following the Bible, and I'm able to come out to say that it is not, and it is there, it means I've studied beyond what my GO taught me. So I've excelled. I'm adding to knowledge. I'm going to write a special book. It will be audio. So those of you, in fact, I will make it audio first. Those of you who subscribe will get free version of these audios very soon. These are things that will be private. And this audio will become a book later that you can buy and keep in your library, or you can get the audio version and keep in your computer and keep them forever. But because you don't need to pay any other money, because you're already a subscriber. God bless you until we meet again. Please share this video to the entire world, so that together we can make life better. Finally, don't forget what I said. What you purpose in your heart will be different from what God purposed for you. Achieve your own, and follow that which God has purposed for you, so that you get double portion blessings, which I'm getting today. Have a wonderful time. Subscribe to this channel. Pass your comments as you deem fit. Particularly, I want to know if you will join my mentorship group, and then also like our videos and share to the entire world. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.